Okay, hi, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to continue with chapter 7, inventory. The topic is inventory. And we're going to do vendor transactions, but the most I'm concentrating today on is item list, how to add inventory pieces. I'm going to explain the items, purchase of inventory, and vendors reports. We're also going to do one more thing. We will pay the sales tax. Okay, to finish up chapter 7. And chapter 8, we're because we're not doing payroll. So what's important is to understand that purchase orders are really non-posting and you're just creating a purchase. You're only asking for something. And later you're gonna have, after you purchase, the merchandise is received. Sometimes it's received with a good, sometimes without a bill, and sometimes with a bill. So it depends on the days that it comes and how it comes. If you open the box and you see an invoice inside, you will say, I received the goods with the bill. So we will see those couple steps. So everything we'll discuss is here in this window. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the steps we're going to do. First, purchase order does not go to accounting, does not do accounts payable at all. Second one says receive inventory. So receive inventory with the bill or without the bill. You see this tiny triangle here. You will have, you'll have two choices. And next is enter bills against inventory. And the last one is how to pay bills. What we did in the previous chapter was just this, enter bills, pay bills. Those are for service company when they don't deal with inventory. The last one is manage sales tax. Again, if you're a consultant or many different services that don't charge sales tax, you will not have this at all. So you don't need manage sales tax. But of course, when you're selling tangible goods, you will have sales tax. So sales tax is created by doing invoices and sales receipts, but it's going to be paid from the accounts payable section because the account is sales tax payable. So the account we will see later on. Okay, so these are the steps again. Purchase order, receive inventory, enter bills against inventory, pay bills. And the last step, manage sales tax, is not connected to inventory. They're just showing you that it's in this window, and that's covered in this chapter. Okay, so now I'm going to explain again what is service item, inventory item, and non. That's what I want to start with. Okay, so let's go to the examples, straight to QuickBooks. Okay, so QuickBooks, I'm going to open the sample company. I'm using Rockcastle Construction because obviously it's inventory. You would use Larry Landscaping, and Larry Landscaping also has inventory. His landscaping could be fruit trees and things like that. Sometimes it's non-inventory item, sometimes it's inventory item. So you'll follow the book. Okay, Accountant Center, we close, we don't need it. I want the home screen. Just close, and I'll show you how I open the item list. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so now we have the home screen. I'm going under chart of accounts. You'll see items and services. That's where I'm going to find items. Another way of doing it, go from view, my views, go from list, item list, the second one under chart of accounts. It's the same window. Okay, so now you have all kinds of items. Beginning is service. I did one example for you of a service. Service, I typed cleaning, hourly cleaning, post-construction cleaning. I want you to see that screen. The example I did is an item that's called service. Cleaning, I gave $20. It's a post-construction cleaning. It means after construction. And it's because it's a service, all services are non-taxable. See, non-taxable, you have to choose. And then you're choosing the correct account that's connected to income. Of course, you could choose construction income, but not when you have sub-accounts. So the rule is always to choose the correct sub-accounts. So labor income is the right one if we're doing labor. Cleaning is labor and you don't have any inventory involved. So use this for service charge like all kinds of labor, consulting, professional fees, things like that. That's going to be here. Okay. So that's the example of service I did. I can show you other examples. Let's say floor plans. Here's floor plans, description, floor plans. Okay, so the price is 0, but when I'm going to put it on an invoice, I'm not going to put 0. So it depends on how much the architect charged me. If he charged me 300, I'm going to write 300. If he charged me 1,000, I'll write 1,000. So it depends on the deal we have with floor plans. So many things in service. It's okay to leave it 0 because common sense, you're not going to invoice anybody with 0. You know to put in the price on the invoice. So it's okay. Many times in service, I do that. I write down consulting, hourly consultation, and I leave it 0. Unless my price is $75 for everyone for consultation, or my price is $100 for everyone, then I would put a price. But if my price changes, depends on how long you were talking to me, then it could be 0 is more beneficial for me. And then later on, I'll put on the invoice whatever I want, which looks like this. When I go to the invoice, you have to put a customer. I'm skipping that for now, but just to show you floor plans. Okay, so floor plans, and I can put the rate of 300. So of course, it's not going to be an invoice for free. It's going to be 300 and it's non-taxable. If I want to choose cleaning, it's the same way. But if I worked 5 hours on cleaning, I'll have to type the quantity as well. So by default, quantity is always 1. But if you need 5 hours of cleaning, say it became $100. Okay, so you have to be careful when you have to type quantity. Make sure you're on the right lines. Okay, we're not doing this invoice at all yet, so we're going to close it. Let's discuss inventory. So we continue with inventory, and I have examples in the book, but before we do it, let's look at one. So the next group after services, I'm going down, scroll down to the words inventory part. So what does it mean, inventory part? This is something you usually carry in your business, and you hold this inventory. You want to have it in stock. Now, other things you might not have in stock are called non-inventory. Okay, so this is an example, a custom-made counter. A custom-made counter for $18.99, that's the price that we ordered from somebody, and then you pay it. So we using a middleman, but we buying it and we don't carry it. So only when we need it, we're gonna carry it. So it's non-inventory part because it's not my inventory. I'm just carrying it whenever I have a custom-made order. Okay, so that's specific customer job, and then we ordering the counter. And you have other examples like that. Okay, so let's go back up. Let's take bifold. Oh, I didn't even realize I typed it already. Okay, yes, so I did do it. Okay, let's see if I can delete it. I'm going to delete the item so I can do it with you. Okay, so we have an example on hardware. Okay, so remember my job is construction, and really sometimes I make a little bit money on materials. Here's an example. A locking doorknob cost me $34.95. That's my cost. And I'm selling it for $38. So I basically made a little bit, because the difference between the 38 and $34.95 is the money that. Okay, let's take another example. If I take exterior door or interior door, let's see if they make sense. Okay, so interior door we buy for 35, we sell for 72, and it used to be more expensive. So I want to point out something also. On the bottom, it used to be usually $69. So it was average cost that they're going to take is $69. So again, we're making like $2 on this, on the door. You're definitely not losing, but not making money on the material. You're making money on the labor to install the door and do all the work. Okay, other example when we make money would be on, let's say, doorknobs. Okay, so cabinet pulls. I usually sell them for $10 and $3 is the cost. So obviously I made $7, but it's not so obvious because if you look down here, it's even more. It's 2.56 really rounded. And the computer is going to take, QuickBooks takes average cost. Not LIFO, not FIFO, it does average. Okay, so based on average, you made more than $7 because it's $10 minus 2.56. Okay, so always the answer is average cost, look there. Okay, so now we're gonna enter another new item. One will be under wood door, that's the main. The other one will be under hardware. So we're gonna use both. I'm typing in all caps. You don't have to type it in all caps. Just follow the book. Okay, so the first thing I do is I need the shell of what I want to buy because otherwise I won't be able to do it. I can't buy it if I don't have it in the computer at all. So both of them would be inventory parts. So not service, I switch to inventory part. And now you see all the screen changes. It's much longer than service. Look again. Service is only one account, one income account, and usually you choose labor income. But if we're doing inventory part, it has to be all this. Now, if somebody has already a problem and you don't see inventory part on the screen, it means you did some mistake in the beginning and you don't have inventory. So go to Edit, Preferences, and activate inventory by going to Items and Inventory, not my preference, company preference. And you make a check mark on inventory and purchase orders are active because this will be off. So if that happened to you, please turn it on. Again, edit preferences, items and inventory, company preference. It looks like off. You make check mark and it's on. Okay, so now you'll be able to get it. Item new is control and letter N, like in other windows. Inventory part. Now, why did I tell you I have three different accounts? Right here, you have, a second. Cost of goods sold, you see it right here. Inventory item, inventory, and that's inventory asset. And we have over here, question for income account. Okay, so the answer is, why do we have all that? Okay, let me take a Word document. I'll explain it that way. I'll use a whiteboard if I could use a whiteboard. Okay. No, I want text. That'll be easier for me. Okay, so basically when I'm buying a door, it will be looking like this. If I have an item and I'm selling a door for 72 when I buy it for 45. Okay, so my entry is like this. Account receivable or cash for 72. And sales, let me it, is also credit, 72 credit. Okay, so we have a debit for the first entry and second is sales. Now the second entry would be cost of goods sold. That door cost me 45. And the inventory obviously going down also by a credit of 45. So the difference between them, 72 minus the 45, will happen on the profit and loss, and you will get gross profit. So that's the reason you would see some accounts. You're going to see income account. Okay. This is an income account if you didn't understand it. Sales is income. And cost of goods sold goes to as an expense kind of on the income statement, on the profits and loss. And of course, inventory belongs to the balance sheet, but it's reducing. So anytime you go to the store and you hear like you're scanning something, it's going to work the same way. Clear. But I'm saying there's a double entry in accounting. You know that the first one, when they scan the item, is first totaling the sale. So it will say the total of the cash and how much money they made. So that's the first entry. And at the same time, they do the second entry for the back to know how many pieces of inventory they sold. So the scanner sounds like two sounds because it's really two transactions at the same time. That's any time on the sale. So what I want you to notice is that I wrote in the beginning, account receivable or cash, that's debit. This is debit. This one is credit. This one is debit. Okay, so the entries are perpetually, you have two really entries at the same time at the time of sale. So that's the explanation that you're going to see in QuickBooks as well. Okay, everybody saw the whiteboard. Now we're going to switch back to QuickBooks. And I'm explaining why we have all these entries. So here's cost of goods sold, that's going to be debited. Here's inventory, that's going to be credited. And over here, we have to choose the income account. So we are selling materials. So the best, of course, it's going to be income. Never take the main one, go down and choose materials income. You're making money on the materials. So let's plug in the prices I told you. 72. This is from the book, not from my head. It's chapter 7, exercise 7.4. Item list. 7.5 really. Okay, so 7.5. So the book tells us to do this. Enter a new item. Item description, item name, and they give you all. Okay, so I'm just copying from the book. Bifold item. Bifold door. Sub item, we're making a check mark, of wood door. I wanted to go under that category. The next one is just the code, BD42. It's just the code on the box, with the part number. And then we're writing that this is a bifold. Bifold means it folds in half. Bifold interior door for a closet or something. Okay, so if the description between purchase and sales is the same, you can do that. If you want to write more on an invoice, this is for the sales transaction, for the account receivable, you could write that this is painted white. You could write, to make the life of the next person easier, how much does he weigh? Maybe 25 pounds. And then based on that, he would know to look it up as 25 pounds, how much it's going to be costing to ship, or freight by UPS, by parcel post, whatever. So the more you write over here, you're making it clear for the next person. And that side is for the invoice. So then again, when I'm selling, they see only this side, they will not see that side. So I'm buying it for 45, but they need to know that I'm selling it for 72. So I'm putting the 72 over here. And now the difference between the 45 and the 72, obviously 72 is more. So 72 minus 45, the difference is called profit. And we're going to see that. Now, since this is an actual door, of course, it's tangible and it's taxable. So it's tangible goods. It's goods that you can see and touch. Preferred vendor. It's got, where did I buy it from? So this we did last time. Andre Windows and Doors. I typed him last time, so I have the new vendor. It means this person gave me the best price. So usually in purchases, you have a purchasing agent that calls 2 or 3 places and tries to get me the best price. So it means Andre Windows and Doors gives it for $45. Other places might be 50 or 65. So he found the best price at Andre Windows and Doors. Okay, the rest on the bottom is not very important, but it's just the minimum. We need to have usually minimum in stock of 2. All this, if you learned it in cost accounting, economic order quantity, reorder point, it's really, if you didn't learn in cost accounting, it's fine. You don't have to have it, but that talks about lead time, how long it takes to get here, things like that. So we don't want to overbuy to have too many. If I would write maximum 10 and I'll get stuck with these 10. So it's not a good idea. So the best is leave it empty. Don't write maximum. The area down here you see is in the box by itself because this could be in journal entry. If I have 10 pieces from last year and I would type 10, the computer will do 10 times 45 and the value of 450. And I will have to be careful with the date as last year's entry. For us, we're just entering it as a shell because we want to buy it. So the answer is 0. We don't have any. So always be careful with here. Don't type any numbers unless you've had it on stock last year. Okay, so if you're planning to buy, it has to be staying as 0. Okay, so that's the inventory part window. The name of the file and design, this is the purchasing and this is the sales area. Cost has to be in. Make sure cost is in. So if you made a mistake and you left sales price empty, no big deal. I'm sure you're not going to sell it for 0. But if you left cost empty, it's going to cost you a big problem because your profit and loss will have 0 on cost of goods sold. And you'll think you made the whole amount. So be very careful. You must type cost. That's harder to fix. Okay, let's go next with a new one, or I can say home, okay? Just to show you where it is. When I said sub account of, it should be under wood door, bifold doors. You do not see cost on this window. And the reason is very simple. You don't see cost because this is a window that sometimes is used by salespeople to check inventory. Do we have in stock or we don't have in stock? And many times you have curious customers who just look over their shoulders and say, oh, wow, your cost is only $30. Can you give me a better price? So we don't want them to see cost. You can only double click if you need to see cost, and you'll see cost over here, 45. So you will not see cost on that window, just sales price. Okay, let's go to the next one. We bought bifold, or we're planning to buy bifold interior doors. So we need a special hardware for it over here. It's going to be a bifold knob. So let's enter that too. Item new. Okay, so I'm repeating the same steps so you will get familiar with this. Again, bifold, knobs, sub item of hardware, and BK36, that's the code. So we're going to write here. Okay, the book says to type bifold door hardware. And again, if you typed it before, you could type it here too. Or you can also do a custom field if you like. Color is white, material is wood. I'm just giving examples that you could do more. Okay, but I would type it in here for now, white. Okay, we're buying it for $6 and selling for 13. Okay, so we're buying for 6 and I'm deleting it, so it's 13. Cost of goods sold is done. The name of the supplier is Patton Hardware Supplies. So we're choosing him. The best is to select. Okay, so this way you will not have spelling mistakes. And here he is. Okay, what if I typed it in 1T? It will think that it's a different vendor. So you have to be very careful when you choose a vendor. Income account, the same as before, material income. So of course we know it starts with a 4. It's not construction income. You go down to 40140, material income. So even though you think I did 4100, I really did 4140. We need to have 2 minimum. Okay, nothing else in stock, we're done. Okay, you see the whole 9. Construction is material income. Okay, so now we're gonna go with okay, and we're done with these 2 items. They both show 0 and shows the sales price is 13. So what do we need to do now? Now that I created the shell, the template of empty one, but at least the item is in the computer, I can start ordering it. So we're gonna make 2 purchase orders. I want you to look carefully at accounts payable before we start. Okay, so the account that we're gonna use today is accounts payable and of course inventory as well. Not invoice yet. Okay, so let's look at that account. Inventory asset is 21,334.48. And you might have different numbers. Don't worry about it now. I want to see accounts payable. Okay, so we're choosing accounts payable. 26,586 and 92 cents. Okay, so it's 25,586, 92 cents. Okay, we'll see what happens after we do the work. So we're starting over here, purchase order. Purchase order means I can pick up the phone and ask for some items. So the book said to order 6 of each. Okay, you have an image of this in the book, page 338. So they're ordering 6 of that. So we know the name of the vendor is Andre Windows and Doors. And you have the item, personal template. Okay, it needs to be make sure purchase order. And the item is bifold door. Bifold interior door. This $45 came up automatically. Great. You have 0 if you don't remember. You have none. That little graph picture here is about quantity. We have none. I'm typing 6. It's going to do 6 times 45, 270, and that's my purchase order. Okay, so we're following the book exactly with the date. The date that we're ordering is on the 20th. Now remember that by default, purchase order is good for 30 days. So QuickBooks relies on default, and people understand that it's good for 30 days. So it means from December 20th until January 20th, you can send it to me. But many times I just need it faster. So I can write in the message here, needed by December 24, let's say. So it's a request, it's not a must, but I prefer that they would do it. So I wrote needed by. Another complaint I have about purchase order that it doesn't have the FOB clearly. Who is paying for shipping? FOB destination or FOB shipping point, it doesn't say it. So it's not clear about it. I need to put over here, buyer pays for shipping. Or if it's free shipping, you'd write it, but it should have been a box over here to clarify this. Another thing you could do to save some money, you could sometimes drop ship directly to a customer, but that means that the whole 6 doors are going to that customer. So that saves time on shipping and money. Of course, the shipping will be paid by you, but still drop ship, send it directly to the family room of, let's say, Mr. Chris Baker. So I could do that if I need it. So that's a good thing about drop ship. Okay, right now, I'm gonna ship it to us, to Rock Castle Construction, and here's the address. Okay, so the purchase order is complete. You have the purchase order number. Okay, I'm gonna point it out. It's 6238. The total of this purchase order is 270. So let's save and close and look if accounts payable changed. Accounts payable, by the way, is also here on the side. It's a very important line, so it's the same. It's accounts payable right under accounts receivable. 25,586.92. If you didn't notice before, it is the same number, exactly same number. 26,589 is the same. 586 is the same. So at this point, it didn't change at all because it's only a purchase order. It went to the chart of accounts. It's a temporary place called non-posting purchase order. So I went all the way down on the chart of accounts to the group that's called non-posting. And here it is, purchase order. I have to change the date, otherwise you will not see it. And here's my 270. The purchase order is there. But the purchase order that's there opened up a little bit different. It just made an extra area that says received or not. So we received nothing, 0. Let's make another purchase order. So next purchase order, I'm just going back to the same window. They're asking us to order the 6 handle as well. So this time we're buying it by Pattern Hardware Supply, and it's hardware, and we the door bifold knobs. So I'm choosing bifold knobs. Okay, you see $6. So it should be 6 times 6, $36. And again, I'm going to write the explanation that I need it soon. So it's needed by December 24. And this time they promised us, okay, good, free shipping. Okay, so it has to be clear somewhere on the invoice. So on the purchase order. So what do you do with a purchase order? You first of all make it on December 20, we made it. You can email it, you can print, you can fax it, you can do whatever you want with it. So you're clicking it here and you can send an email of a purchase order. Okay, save and close. So do you think that this $36 changed my chart of accounts? We see it here in purchases. See, this is a account, quick account on purchases. So obviously it's on purchases. Let's look in accounts payable. Back up. Accounts payable is 20,000. And again, no change whatsoever. Even if you double click on it, you will not see the 2 things that I just did. You see what I did last week, last time. So you have 200 Davis and California gas and things like that you do see here. But you're not going to see not the 270 and not the 36 because it was only an order. Let's go back. So we did step 1. We're ready for step 2. Step 2 is a couple days later, we actually received the goods. Now this is following something called the voucher system. What is a voucher system? First, you create a purchase order. Then you have a receiving report that's usually totally not by the person who made the order. I can sit in my office and make the order. I'm the purchasing agent, but the warehouse receives the goods. So receiving is done by different people and they need to sign it, that they got the box in good condition and whatever. So that's the receiving report. Next is enter bills against inventory that comes when the mail comes in, and later pay bills. So you really have all these are signed and given permission by each step. So that's a good voucher system. If the business signs every paper, yes, you have permission to order these 6 windows, or you have permission to order 15 windows. You're gonna get it in writing. Okay, so now we're gonna go into receive inventory, and we see that you have 2 choices. You have a choice of receive inventory with or without the bill. Okay, so let's see what the book says. You got it without the bill. Okay, so merchandise came in without the bill. So we're doing it in a long step. If I did receive inventory with bill, all I have is a little tiny check mark that's very important. This bill says right here, bill selected, bill received. I mean, this check mark is, is done. And then it saves me steps because I don't have to do receive bills against. Okay, but we're gonna do it slowly, so I'm not gonna go with that. I'm gonna go receive inventory without the bill. Sorry a second. Okay, so I'm gonna close that and I'll show you again. I go with receive inventory, second choice, without the bill, and it will say item receipt. It does not say bill. Okay, it's all connected by the vendor. So primary key is the name of the vendor. Andrea Windows and Doors, the connection has to be by the name of the vendor. That saves you a lot of time because the minute you put the vendor name, you will see this pop up and it says open, open purchase orders exist for this vendor. Do you want to receive against one of those orders? For sure, the answer is yes. I don't want to type again the same order. So I'm saying yes, but in the window, I'm going to remember that I had 6238. I also had 6239 for the second one. But only 6238 appears because Andrew's name is on 6238. So we say, okay. Never just save it because you have to really review it carefully. So we have to read what happened. Okay, we ordered 6. Problem number 1, we received 5. Problem number 2, we also have to pay $35 delivery. They charge us $35 delivery. We're not paying it right now, but they charge us. So we're looking at the items receipt and it says 2 things. That the reason they did 5 is because they didn't have 6. So we're going to switch the quantity to 5. That's number 1. Now you should see that the computer recalculated automatically. If it didn't, you press recalculate on top. So you type 5 and recalculate, but usually it recalculates automatically. Look at your screen very carefully. In the middle, you have two parts. We did the part of the items, which is the inventory itself, 5 pieces of 45. Now I'm switching to expenses. And in expenses, I have to choose the freight. So the account for freight is related to cost of goods sold. Let me look for it. It's called freight and delivery. Here it is, 54,520. Okay, this one should be added $35. Okay, so now we have $35 on this side and $225 on this side. So it should change the value from 270 to 260 if you add 225 plus 35. Again, if it didn't work and it's still on 270, recalculate. And before I'm saving, I have to make sure to know that the dates are correct. I didn't receive it on the 15th. I received it on the 22nd. I ordered on the 20th. I received it 2 days later. So I make sure I'm changing the dates. If you have a reference number already to an invoice, you can put it in, but usually you don't get it. You're only getting something called packing slip right now. Packing slip comes from the invoices on, like when they bill, they send a packing slip. If you never saw a packing slip, let me save and close and show you what I mean. Packing slip comes from the account receivable side. When somebody sends you an invoice, they can prepare also packing slip. Let's say I'm choosing something to show you the slip. Okay, here's an example that I can print a packing slip. Packing slip. This will say repair work 1 hour, repair and a wood door. I'm just doing preview because I can't really print. So packing slip never ever have prices. And that's the reason you cannot say, I got an invoice and I know the prices. Packing slip is really for one company. When you send it on the box, it's really on a little pouch outside of the box. And the people that receive it will know what's in the box. Many times it's a code, X3 200 and X5 100. It doesn't matter, but you would know what's in the box. There's no prices because if the UPS guy or the parcel post guy and everybody would open it and see the prices, they might be tempted to, to steal it. So that's the reason there's never any prices on the packing slip. So packing slip is not saying anything. It could be a tiny box, but the value inside is $1,000 and they don't need it. Of course, they will insure it, but the point is that it's not necessary to put it outside of the box. Inside the box, you can even put an invoice because usually they don't open the boxes. Okay, so packing slip is one way for one company is called a packing slip. But when I receive the goods from me, it's called receiving report. All I do is sign on top of it, circle each one, and this is my receiving item. So you don't have to actually make another paper. A packing slip for that I received becomes receiving reports in the warehouse. And they write down the good condition and everything that happens. Okay, so let's go back. So I showed you over here a packing slip that comes from an invoice. Now we're going to go back to the purchase orders we just did. Okay, for understanding, you will see that it just changed a little bit. Accounts payable was created. Let's look at accounts payable. Maybe I didn't finish it. I thought I saved, but I want to double check that I saved. Receive inventory without the bill. Okay. Yeah, I see under windows and doors. Okay, so the total is $260 on December 22nd, 2022. That was a receive inventory already. So we're going to check accounts again. Okay, accounts payable. It was 25,586. Now we see 25,846. Let's double click and see. Okay, here's the answer. You see the 260? It is increasing. It's under the blue line. That's more current. So it's 260 increased right there. It's not the last one because I just used later dates, but here's, okay, let's do another purchase order receiving. So we ordered for the 6 handles and we also received the free shipping and we got the 6 handles. So just to review the steps we just did, receive inventory without the bill. You got 6, you got it in full. So the name is always by the name of the vendor. So Pattern Hardware Supplies ordered 6 and received 6. Okay, you should see the pop-up. Open purchase order exists to this vendor. You say yes. You have to see these pop-ups and you select the purchase order, 6239. I'm doing this again, so you will get the idea of a purchase order and receiving. And I'm getting it on the 22nd, $36. Got it in full. Okay, so over here, 6 pieces and all correct. Expenses, free shipping, so I don't need to do anything. I'm going to leave it blank. So this time is free shipping is 0. So my total is $36. So what I did is really just change the date. That's all I did. Save and close. Okay, so I reviewed the second step twice. Okay, so if your job is accounts payable, 3 days later, you're opening the mail and it comes a bill. A bill comes in the mail from Andre. So you're choosing enter bills against inventory and you select again the name of the vendor. Now it has to be, if you did it well, it has to be pop up in the window over here that you received it. You received something on December 22nd. So all you're doing right now is saying, I want to make a connection between what I received and the bill itself with an invoice number. So I say, okay. Okay, you have to check that you got it on December 22nd. And check that you have net 15 over here and it's due on December, became January 6th, it's correct, $260. Make sure that the quantity is 5 and not 6, and now you're all correct. Okay, so this is enter bills against inventory. One more important cell that I want you to start using. It's very useful. Andre windows and doors have an invoice number system. So of course, most of them have invoice number system. when I put the invoice number right here as a reference, this will stop me from making mistakes again. Okay, what is a mistake again? What does it mean? Let's say your accounts payable, you went, I don't know, you were sick for a few days, you came back to work. And you decided, okay, I'm gonna enter a bill because we got a bill for $260. So you're doing it right. You went over here under windows and doors. You did not look at all if this bill was existing before, and you say, okay, open purchase order. If I do open the purchase order to receive it, I'll see the back order of 1, and I think, okay, I'm gonna fix it to 5, and I'm doing a great job. And then I realized, okay, I need a shipping of $36. I can fix it. I think shipping was 36, I'm not sure. How much was shipping? It was 35. Okay, so I'll fix it to 35. Okay, so now that I did all the work again, I changed the date. And then comes the point that I'm typing the invoice number. 445890. Many people don't use this reference number and they causing such a problem. Because when I'm trying to save right now, it will say this number exists already. So it's a problem. It's like a major solution to saying, don't duplicate. Don't keep the number. Always press cancel. Because if you just did keep the number, you don't see the problem yet, but I know there's a problem. If you go to accounts payable, you're going to see 2 bills with the same exact amount. Okay, the 260 appears twice. Let me show you. 260 and 260. They both say split. They both look good, and you don't see the mistake. But one is applies to purchase order, and the second one is not. Okay, so what happened is you really have 2 times 260, and it's the same one. Because you said keep the number, I'll show it to you from the point of view of a vendor. You click on vendor. That's vendor center, by the way. So on top, you could do centers. And in here, I will see 2 bills for 260 and the original purchase order to 270. So if I see 1 purchase order, but I see 2 bills with the same amount, there's something wrong. See, it's the same invoice number. One of them is definitely duplicate. So it's just harder to find the mistake. If you're looking over here, you have 5, and you can do show PO, that the original was 6. And it says received 6 and closed, which is a problem. We only received 5. So that's 1. And the second one, see, received in full, which is not true, and I have to delete it. So I'm gonna delete the second one. It doesn't matter which one you delete, but it's for sure duplicate. Okay, this is another duplicate, not good. Let me delete it. No. Okay, let me delete it. You have to have it on the screen, okay, active on the screen, and then you press delete bill. Okay, so it should not happen to you. And this would cause the first one to be right. Okay, so it says 5 received. If you say show PO, that will show back order of 1 and 5. So we fixed the problem. We did not receive the last one. It's still on back order. Okay, so we only owe the 260. Okay, let's do the same steps. Review. Each vendor you have to do separately. I want to point out that there is a glitch in QuickBooks. You cannot do one by one. Okay, like you cannot go and say, okay, now let me switch to a new vendor. This does not pop up. You have to really close, go back and open another one. Okay, so you do each one individually, like when you're opening the mail, each one individually. So if you forgot what we did December 22nd, not December 5th. So December 22nd was my date. I'm choosing by the date. The other one I just have to ignore for now. Say okay. And this should show me the right PO. 6 doorknobs, yes. And this is the one I want. 6 doorknobs at $36. And again, the date. Yes, I make sure I'm doing the right steps. Okay, so we can even put the codes here, you know, the invoice number, and that's it. So again, my point about the invoice number, always put it, especially in business. In reality, you might have many services that are billed every month the same exact price, but the invoice number is always generated wrong. Every month is different number. So if you have like alarm service every month, you will have a different invoice number. If you have maintenance kind of for every month, you're gonna have that, or let's say landscaping every month, invoice numbers will be different. So you make sure to put the invoice reference, and then you will not have duplicates. I see duplicates in accounts payable all the time. Okay, so now that we did it, okay, enter bills against inventory, I'll point out exactly how to do it again. It's going to be choosing that vendor. If nothing in the window, it means you chose the wrong one. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, you're selecting, and then you see something in the window, you select it again, you do okay. So what's important in this window is this tiny check mark that I'm pointing out. If you didn't do this bill received right now, you will not get it at all. Okay, bill received causes accounts payable to be complete, and based on that, you'll be able to pay it. But if you don't have a check mark on bill received, how can you pay something that you didn't even receive the actual bill? So bill received moves it to pay bills. Okay, another point about the bottom here. So if let's say you got 50 ordered and you got, I don't know, 45. So always remember to change this. If you only got the 2 or the 6, change this to 0 if you got nothing. So you'll be typing 0 on top of it. You're not deleting this invoice, you're not deleting the line, you're just changing the quantity. That's what I want to point out. Especially important for the homework. Okay, so we did step 1, we did step 2, we did step 3. Now we're at step 4. So we got the 2 bills from Andre, and we got the bills from the doorknobs, and we just want to pay those 2. You don't want to pay everything. You just want to pay exactly those 2. So they're asking you first to go to reports, transaction journals. Let's look at that. Reports and menu, accountant and taxes, transaction. But they want it from here. They want it from enter bills to make your life easier. Go to reports and then transaction journal from here. Okay, so let's go back to see a transaction that we just did. Okay, here's the 6 that we just did. Pet and hardware supplies, go to reports. I'm following the book. They want transaction journal to understand what exactly happened. So accounts payable went up, and that's a credit, $36. You also have inventory going up because you received the inventory. So inventory asset is a debit, accounts payable is a credit. Okay, nothing is involved in shipping in this time. Otherwise, there was a shipping charge. Shipping charge would be cost of goods sold, so it will be a debit as well. So if let's say they charge you $5 shipping, so you will have 36 plus 5, and the total would be in accounts payable. Okay, let's see another example like that. Let's go to the other one that we did with shipping. Under windows and doors, let's do this one. Report, transaction journal, and I'll show you exactly what I said about shipping. Okay, so 225 is the goods because it's inventory asset. Actually, inventory is 225. We got the bifold doors, wood doors. So 45 times the 5 is 225 plus $35 delivery. See freight and delivery expense, that's $35. So these two together equals to the total of 260 accounts payable. So we have 2 debits to 1 credit, a compound entry. And that's what you wanted to see. Okay, so now we're going to pay bills. Okay, here's the bill with the bill selected, bill received. If I don't have this check mark, I'm going to point it out. I'm taking it off to force it just to show you. That causes me a problem. Then I go to pay bills and I don't see Andre at all. And it's in alphabetical order. It will be the first one. So that's what I just caused a mistake. Make sure you see that little switch to bill received. Okay, here's under windows and doors. I'm forcing it to have bill. Okay, I'm making it bill received because by mistake I took it off. I'll be able to see it. So 1, 2, 3, and now we go to pay bills. Okay, accounts payable with inventory is not so simple. You have a lot of windows to go through. Under windows and doors appears now, you owe $260 and it's net 15. It comes up right here. No discounts at all. Okay, on the bottom it says to be printed or assigned check number. If you're following the book, it will say to be printed like a reality. And the date of the check is on the 23rd. So we're changing the date of the check to the 23rd. Okay, the book instruction is to pay 2 things. Pay also the $36 that is for patent hardware supplies. So we're going down the list to see only what we check off with where will come to the total. So right now we checked off the first one. And now I'm going to look for the $36 by here. Okay, patent has a few. So there's 3 of them. I have to make sure that I'm choosing only the first one with the $36. So your total is $296. I'm going to get 2 separate checks because the checks are based on the vendor's name. The vendor's name is Andre. The second one is patent. It's going to be 2 separate checks. So when I say to be assigned, I click pay or to be printed. You will see that you got 2 separate checks to 2 separate vendors. Vendors for $260, a vendor for $36. And then you're done. If you want to print the checks, you could print the checks. If you got a check number already, automatically you could assign the check number. So you would, of course, all the checks that you wrote in the check register. It goes here. And the check dates would be the 23rd. So it's here in the middle. See, it's on the column that says payment, 260 and 36. Maybe less lines, you'll see better. Okay. So 260 and the 36 appear here. And checking. If you don't like the word to print, you can write the check number. I could do 519, assign check number, and then record. And yes. And this one will be 520 and record. These are regular checks. Okay, so we just finished with the 260 and the 36. Almost done with the chapter. Last topic in the chapter is taxes. So we go back to the home screen and I'm discussing this one, manage sales tax. Before we see manage sales tax, let's see the account that's connected to it. So we go to the chart of accounts. We know that sales tax is called sales tax payable. It's right here. It says $1,693.79. Okay, so that's how much they collected. We go to the home screen, manage sales tax. Okay, this is a wizard. So it's not that hard. It's collecting all the information from account receivable. And your job is just to click pay sales tax and do the wizard. Okay, again, why we have to do it? Because it's the end of the month and we want to write the payments for the end of the month. So they tell us in the book to manage sales tax and change the date twice to the end of the year, December 31st and show me taxes until December 31st. And the check number, it remembers that we didn't use 493. Okay. Okay, so now our job is to make a check mark on the East Bay Shore and St. Thomas. Okay, how does it work? You have all the checks are based on the name of the vendor. So City of East Bay Shore will get, believe it or not, the 29 cents check, which is silly because even the stamp costs more. So sometimes, if it's such a small amount, I can select that and click adjust and take off this 29 cents if they're okay with it. Now, the reason you have adjust also is sometimes your tax is collected and it's higher than a certain amount. So it's kind of, they give you a bonus and you can adjust and keep some of the money. So sometimes you would need this adjustment. Okay, but in this case, we're gonna actually do the two checks. So let's make check mark, check mark. Your total checks is right here. Of course, they agree. 1693.79 agrees with 1693.79. The book has a different amount. The book is like much less, 900 or something. So it means I made more sales, but this is for our records. It's fine. Say okay. Okay, so where did it go? Because you don't do it again. If you click on pay, you'll see that it's done. You will have zero, it's minus, it's done. Okay, let's see what happens. We went to checking. Obviously we did it. So sales tax payable, zero. It means I paid it in full. And that's what I wanted to achieve because it's the end of the year, sales tax payable. And of course I wrote a check. So I'm gonna see it here. 1693.50, here it is, State Board of Equalization. And the second one is sales tax payable, but 29 cents. So I got two checks, 439, 493, and 494. If I double click on the end, on the balance, you will see the physical check. Okay, it means Thomas and the total, State Board of Equalization. And the same thing with the 29 cents, but it's a different area. This is East Bay Shore. Okay, so both of them sales tax full. Okay, so what it means that you did credit to checking, but debit to sales tax payable. That's what happens when you do manage sales tax. So remember important rules. You do not go to write checks. You have to go to pay. You cannot pay sales tax by writing a check. Okay, so you cannot go to write checks for many reasons. All payroll calculations, you cannot do write checks. You can't use pay employees, you cannot pay liabilities. You have the sections for them besides, on their own. Okay, so that's important. The only time you write a check is if you need a check right away for something that you never entered before. Let's say you never entered the rent bill and you want to pay rent. So you would choose rent, but you don't have a bill at all. Here's your rent. You're typing it in the amount, and that's your rent. Yeah, that's the example. Okay, so write checks is used only when you don't have a bill for it and when you don't have to pay taxes or payroll, not payroll liability and not payroll itself. Be careful with that. Do not use write check from now on. Really on the test, you will have to use enter bills, pay bill. That's for the final. Okay, so this is chapter 7. Let's finish up with the reports. Under windows and doors, they want a statement. Okay, so you can go to reports, pull down vendors and payables. The first 4 or 5 reports are the same. You can look at vendor balance detail as well. Okay, you see that under a window as door, it has a bill of 260 and we paid it 260 and the detail shows 0. That's what you should see. If you're going directly to the vendor center, you will see the extra purchase order and that you have a back order. that your next, what I want to show you again is the purchase order. We ordered 6, we received 5. We can still get the 1 because back order is, again, it's still in the 30 days. Back order is automatically acceptable. So if they shipped and 1 separately, we will accept it. But right now we only received 5 and back order is 1. Now, if you get a phone call from Andre Windows and Doors that the last bifold door will come in 2 months, they have a problem with it, and you don't want it anymore because you lost the customer. So you're going to press closed over here and you'll be able to order by somebody else. So that means closed because we didn't receive it in full, but we closed it. So you see the mouse changes to a check mark and then you can force it to be closed. Okay, other reports that you can do in the vendor center is you go over here, you could do right mouse click, and you will have view as report. If you like reports that you can export to Excel, here's your transaction. A purchase order is 270. There was a bill and bill payment check. It's technically opposite because this should be first. That's a 20. So you could, sort by date if you want to. But this is all the transactions that we did from for him only. So it's really from not January, December. Transactions for December looks like that. Purchase order 260, 260. Okay, so now we're done with the check mark for all this. If you're still confused of how many inventory pieces you have in stock, we can go to reports and choose the report about inventory. So the report for inventory is called inventory stock status by item. It's the third one on the group of inventory. And again, be very careful with the dates. We want it from the 22nd until the 31st even. Okay, so you'll see all the sections and what you got. What's on purchase order, we'll have a check mark over here on order. Okay, so cabinet pulls, we have on hand 421, we have enough. Next one, we have light pine, we have nothing. Other cabinets is nothing. Door frame, hardware. We have reorder point is 2, we have 6, and available 6 because we did not sell any of this yet. The wood door, we have 5 because we received 5. With the dates, anything that you need would be here. So this is all the work we did. It's called inventory stock status by item. Okay, what do we do at the end of the year? Now it's December 31, and sometimes we do it on a week later, but we need to count inventory. So it's very important that you do a physical count of inventory. Inventory in any company is really a very valuable asset, and I'm not going to sign any balance sheet if I didn't see inventory. So for them, inventory is about 21,000. But imagine that you're coming to a big company and that's $2 million in inventory. You want to physically see the inventory and count it. So that's called the physical inventory count. You go to reports. There is a report to help you with that. Of course, it's under inventory. So inventory, physical inventory worksheet. Okay, it's a paper that you will need to take and carry and actually count everybody. So you will count how many handles you have, 421 handles. It's especially for them, it's not very, it should not take more than a couple hours because this is big items. Show me that you have locking doorknobs and this no doorknobs or whatever. It doesn't take so long to count this little inventory that they carry. It's doors, so you physically see them. So maybe this whole inventory sheet will take a day, not more. So they sometimes close for business. Maybe they do it on a Saturday, on a Sunday, whenever they close, they do a physical inventory worksheet at the end of the year because the accountant must have it. Usually the accountant is there in person and he makes a check mark and sign on all of this. Okay, so it's a famous story on this that many people, like they really did physical. They said, okay, we're coming in 2 days to your business, to the warehouse to count it. And they had many, many different stores. So they were moving the same inventory from Brooklyn to New Jersey overnight, and he was counting it there. And then in 2 days later, he was counting it in another place. So they were cheating with inventory because they basically took the same inventory overnight to another place, and he saw and counted the same inventory. So to avoid such problems, when there is a chain, you should not give them different days to count inventory. Send different people to count inventory on the same day. That's a very famous story of electronic business that it happened. Okay, so if somebody wants to cheat with inventory, that can cause a problem like that. Okay, so chapter 7 reviews inventory internal control as well. I want you to read it very well. That they following the voucher system, and they check that they ordered, that they received, and that they billed and paying it. So if you have a way to look at all the documents and then send the check, that is the best. Okay, so the next thing in I'm going to review. I'll show you how we do a new vendor if you missed it. And I'm doing the exercises at the end of chapter 7. Okay, so we're going like this: vendor. And again, the whole exercise should not take so long. Vendor, new vendor. Okay, the name is Kelly's Closets. So we're going to do Kelly's Closet. Not everything is important. I really don't care about the name of the company and the address, really. Just, you could do the whole exercise. I'm doing a little bit less. Okay, so it's in Bayshore, California. I'm not really typing. Okay, so if you do want to type everything, you put it here. Okay, then you copy if it's the same, shipping and billing. You say it's the same. Payment information is net 30, so we go to payment setting and we say terms are net 30. And text setting is not important. We're going to account setting, also not important. Additional information, we buy material from them, and the material is going to be closets. Okay, that's it. I did the first step. So we're done with inventory. We're done with item. We're done with vendor. Now we're going to go to a completely new item because we don't have it at all. So step 1, I finished entering a vendor. Step 2, I go to items and service. Okay, it's not wood door and it's not hardware. So we have to do a new section, this time a new section. So item new. The first one is a section called closets. So we say inventory part, closet. I might do it all caps so you'll see it better. Closets, materials. Okay, I can also do copy and paste. And I don't put prices at all yet. I just check the accounts. 50,100 cost of goods sold is right. It is taxable. Account of income is material income. 401. Let's check. 40140. Materials income. Okay, same as before. That's the one that does not need any other information, no prices yet, because I'm going to create for this one sub accounts. So the main one does not get any prices. See, no prices at all. I could say, okay, and you'll see just that it's in the section. A new section is on the margins. Say closet materials in the margins. Now I'm going to do 3 under. There will be sub account of closet material. So I'm continuing with item new. And it's going to be sub account of inventory. So it's inventory part. And this time it's 6 feet, closet, shelving. Sub account of sub item of closets material. And the important part. Let's call it Shelving. And it's cost me $22, but I sell it for $30. Okay, so all this is from the book, and the account is material income. Okay, all done. Next, not to, just to save time, I don't want to start typing every time construction income. So in here, it's always the same, materials income. And next one is 12 feet closet shelving. Story sub item, which is a space bar to make a check mark. Closet material. And the price this time is $36 cost, and we charge 50. Okay, that's all we need. So I'm doing the last one. Last one is closet installation kit. So closet install kit. I just want to show you how fast all the exercises are. Sub item of closet material and install kit. Price is going to be $10 and we sell it for 16. What happened here? I have a mistake. Change the account. So it's 5 for cost of goods sold. Okay, prices is 16. The best is if you don't change prices. So $10 we buy, 16 we sell. You saw it for a second. If I would leave it 160, it will not make sense. So we're done. We say, okay, let me look at it. Okay, we got 3 sub items indented under closet material. Before you send the paperwork, always go to item, resort the list. Okay, so now my report will look beautiful. I want to go to the reports called inventory, stock status by item. Okay, I'm not doing it yet, but just the idea that it should be in categories. Cabinet is first, closet is in the middle. We have zeros, we have nothing yet. And I made a mistake. I see I'm missing something. I made a mistake. I forgot to choose Kelly as the vendor. Easy to fix. I can go each one and fix it. Okay, right here. I'll choose the closet. It doesn't matter the main one, just the sub accounts. So in here, I can choose Kelly. Okay, the book really didn't say it, but if you did fix it, it's even better. So you should know that we're buying it by Kelly. Last one. Double click is edit. You type Kelly over here and you'll be done. Okay, so now we know we're buying it by Kelly. The instruction is order 6 of each in one purchase order. So we go to purchase order. On December 23rd, they tell us waiting for it, purchase order. Here's Kelly. Item. Okay, first we're changing the date to December 23rd because it's very sensitive to date. And we're choosing the closet material that we need. So first is the 6, and they're ordering 6 feet of that. See? Next one is the 12 closet shelving, also 6 quantity. Prices are different on each one. And the last one is closet install kit, again 6. We're using only the sub accounts. See, they're all sub accounts. Okay, now, okay, my total is 408. Save and new. go back with arrow key, and they tell you to go to reports, transaction journal, to look at the transaction you just did. So your total is 408 for accounts payable. No, it's not accounts payable. The answer is purchase order. This is non-posting yet. Inventory, inventory, inventory. It did not increase inventory yet. Only when you get it the next time. So it's saved, but it didn't really post any inventory. It's only an order. Okay, so exercise 7.1 is done. 7.2, purchase order is done. I'm in exercise 7.3. You received the items. Okay, they told you receive inventory. So we go over here, home screen, receive inventory. Without the bill. So, okay, we choose without the bill. We have to remember the whole time that we're working with Kelly. So Kelly closets should be selected. And after you select Kelly, you should have the pop-up. Yes. Okay, so the information in the book, you received everything in full. You got it on the 24th. So fine, select it, say okay. You received it without the bill yet, but you're just changing the date to the 24th. It does not take long to do all this exercise. Okay, I'm already at 7-4. Enter bills against inventory. Select the Kelly again. And it should be the received inventory that you just did. It's always change the date, the 24 again. Okay, so you received the bill, enter bills against inventory. I'm sorry, on the 27. The book says on the 27, you got the bill in the mail. And save and close. Each one they want you to do transaction journal. Okay, so you do it by going back if you need to, enter bills, review. Where is it? Here it is. And reports, transaction journal. And this is the report you should get. 408 and all the, actually going to accounts payable this time. Credit accounts payable, debit to inventory. This is a posting transaction. Okay, so all done. Pay the bill. They're asking you to pay on the 28th only this bill. Okay, so we're going to pay bills. Okay, we're gonna go pay bills, only pay Kelly. Although you have everything coming up, it should be, everything else not necessary right now. You go just to Kelly. Here's Kelly. And you would change it to be printed and the date on the 28th. So I'm following the book exactly to the T, not missing a word. So pay bills is exercise 7.5. 7.6 is report. I'm skipping that. We're going to 7.6.2, 2 reports that they want. Okay, so the report that they want is usually on inventory. One they want on purchases. So something I didn't show you before. We go to reports, purchases. They want open purchase order. So they want to know what exists, open purchase order. Which purchase orders are still available? Here's the open purchase orders. And you will have the purchase orders that the 270 we ordered, but still one is still pending. So that's the reason we have the 45 in here. And that shows that you did the correct job. Under windows and doors originally was 270. 45. Yes, any questions? I'm going to.
Oi, Markusha.
Okay, and that's my open purchase order. And they also want stock status report based on December 31. So it's inventory. We go to inventory, inventory stock by status report by item. And they want until December 31. So we change the date. and you got the closets right here. You see that you sold 6 and, oh, that's sales yet. Yeah, they want you to do sales as well. So you have to do sales and then it will show how many. Right now you have 666 and now you're ready to sell. So you have 6 pieces of each. Okay, so now I'm doing a review of chapter 5. Chapter 5 is this area. Create sales of inventory. Mr. Castle, you got, I was told to replacing Mr. and they want you to come back. So they just said, install a new closet shelving in our huge closet. Please come back and do a sale. Okay. So the information is customer. Let's see if we have it. Customer. I'm going to search for, I don't think we have the name. Nope. I don't think we have Sophia. Okay. So I don't have it. And you have to share and, really practice yourself. Choose new customer. And do it exactly like the book said. Okay, the name is Raphael Sophia. So you enter it over here, first name Sophia and last name Raphael. I'm not doing all of it. I just want to do the job itself. So we choose the person and we say add job. The job is closet shelving. Okay, so follow the book with exercise. You got the review of accounts receivable, review of accounts payable, and the job information that they said that this is a repairs and job description to replace closet shelving. So first they wanted you to practice again, entering the customer, entering the job. And you do it the same day. So we say closed, all of it done. December 27, 2022, same date. You're coming in and you're doing the same job the same day. Okay, so now it's done. You go straight to the invoice. Create an invoice for Raphael Sophia for the closet. So we go to create an invoice and we'll do the job. Okay, so I went to an invoice. I'm choosing the name of the customer we just did and the job. So I need to see the whole thing here. Okay, Rockcastle, and the template is Rockcastle invoice, it's correct. We go to item 12-inch closet shelving. Okay, when you see that, you have to choose the quantity, 2. I'm just copying from the book of the exercise. 6. The 6th one should be also 2. 1 closet installation kit. So we don't choose closet material, we choose closet install kit. And that's quantity 1. Even if you didn't put 1, it will do 16. And the last one is 3-hour installation. That's labor. So we type installation, we put 3 quantity, and your total should be 294.64 because of tax. And then you pay it. Okay, so the whole thing was done on the 27, and on the 29, 2 days later, they pay. So we save and close. So we finish with create an invoice. We go to receive payment and get the money. all by the name of the customer and the job. So the amount is 294.64. Okay, we followed the book exactly, and we got the cash and check and the amount. So the 29 and the check number is 625. And our job is complete. We're saving. Close. And you'll see the pop-up. It will not make you forget it. You have to remember to make deposit. So you just have the pop-up, and if you don't, click on the word payments, and you'll see this if you close it by mistake. Okay, so always remember it's under payments. You're not making by yourself ever undeposited. Okay, that's a mistake. Undeposited funds is the wrong way. Okay, you don't do it yourself. You click on payment, you select the payment, and it will become undeposited. And this is correct. Okay, the date is on the 29th. We finished the whole project. How do I know that you did everything? One report will show me that you did all the work. That inventory, stock by status report, so a month, will show that you bought and sold. So now we see the quantity is 4, 4, 5. That's what's on hand. So I know you sold. And if you want to look more, it will say the sales over here, sales for the week. Okay, it's divided the wrong way, but you will see sales for the week. So there was 2 pieces for the week. So it was 6 before, and now we have 4, 4, 5. That's the correct thing I want to see on closets. Okay, so please be careful. Don't do this one. Your job is to do all of it in project 7.1, which is Larry Landscaping. So good luck with Larry Landscaping, and do all the steps the same way. And see you next time.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes.
I would like to know about how